is a beautiful play to behold, the completed pass, but not when it's completed against you. This is more like it. And this. And this. As we have seen in our discussion of the passing game, the successful passing offense is built around timing and precision. That's where it begins, and therefore it follows that the successful defense against the pass must begin with the effort of those men up front, the defensive line. They must destroy the timing and the precision of the pass, and they destroy it by their rush. In our segment on the defensive line, we have seen the various methods employed by defensive linemen in getting to the passer. Whatever the method, their purpose is, at the very least, to destroy his timing or to force him to throw off balance. After that, the responsibility belongs to the linebackers and defensive backs who deploy in one of several pass defenses. In the man-to-man coverage or the man-to-man defense, the four deep backs, the defensive secondary, cover the ends and the weak side halfback man-to-man. The strong side defensive halfback covers the wingback man-to-man, wherever he goes. The strong side safety covers the Y end or the tight end man-to-man, wherever he goes. The weak side safety covers the weak side halfback, man-to-man, wherever he goes. The weak side halfback covers the X end or the split end, man-to-man, wherever he goes. The position that they line up in for the halfbacks, 4 to 7 yards deep, approximately 1 yard outside shoulder of the X end. Same position for the strong side halfback, 4 to 7 yards deep, 1 yard outside shoulder. However, a coaching point here is that they should take advantage of the sidelines. The strong side safety, 8 to 10 yards deep, 1 yard outside shoulder of the Y end or the tight end. The weak side safety split the outside leg about 8 to 10 yards deep. The linebackers, strong, middle, and weak, key the fullback. They will move in the direction of the fullback. If the fullback goes strong, they will go strong. If the fullback goes weak, they will go weak. They will cover that fullback man-to-man if he comes into their zone, leaving the other two linebackers free for either zone coverage or underneath coverage or some other assignment such as blitzing. We spoke of the linebackers moving in the direction of the fullback. The question is, what happens when the fullback blocks? He does not move out. He stays in that position. Now, a predetermined choice is made by these three linebackers, depending upon the opponent who is being faced that week. For example, if the strength of the passing game of the opponent is in the wingback area, then when he blocks for that particular week, we would move the linebackers strong, middle and strong, strong, and the weak linebacker back into a hook position. If the strength of the opponent's passing game is in the weak side, this is their primary receiver for that particular week. When the fullback blocks, we may wish to move the linebackers weak underneath coverage to help the halfback with this weak side linebacker, move weak with the middle linebacker to help in this hook zone, and move this man straight back to help in the hook zone underneath the safety man. When the fullback flares strong, the linebackers, key in that fullback, will move to the strength. The strong side linebacker moving out at 45-degree angle to come underneath. He does not come up real tight on this man, but that is his man in this area. If the ball is thrown out there to him, he's got to come up and tackle him. The middle linebacker, key in the fullback, will now move into the strong side hook position to help underneath for the safety man. The weak side linebacker, also key in the fullback, will move into a hook position underneath. If the fullback were to go weak, it would move the linebackers weak. The weak side linebacker underneath to help the weak side halfback underneath at a 45-degree angle. The weak side of the middle linebacker would also move weak into the weak side hook zone, and the strong side linebacker into a hook zone on the strong side. If the fullback were to fare strong, but in a circle route, he would move into since the middle linebacker is key in him, he would move right into a zone and he would be covered man-to-man by the middle linebacker. If the fullback were to move weak and come through the line, he would, since the middle linebacker is key in the strong side, is key in the number 5 man on the fullback, he would be picked up by the middle linebacker who comes into his zone. I'd like to re-emphasize one point, that when the fullback moves in a direction, into a zone that is covered by that linebacker picks him up man-to-man. For example, he moves wide, he's picked up by the strong linebacker when he comes into his zone. If he were to move in a circle route, he's picked up by the middle linebacker when he moves into his zone. If he were to move weak and then come through the line in this area, he would be picked up by the middle linebacker when he comes into his zone. As was previously mentioned, the deep secondary is man-to-man on the ends and the weak side back. The strong side halfback, man-to-man on the wing back, wherever he goes. His primary key for run or pass is the YN. A secondary key for run or pass is the offensive guards. Another key which is used, if the number 4 back, the weak side halfback, blocks, he knows that he will get help from the weak side safety who is released when he blocks. So he will have help to the post and therefore can play the wing back stronger to the outside. The strong side safety is man-to-man on the YN, the tight end. It's on him wherever he goes. Run or pass, he keys the YN. Secondary key for run or pass are the offensive guards. A third key is the weak side halfback. He knows if he blocks, the weak side safety is free, he will get help to the inside, therefore can play the YN stronger to the outside. The weak side halfback, man-to-man on the 3-man, the XN, the split end. Wherever he goes, his run or pass key is the offensive tackle. The offensive tackle comes down the field, he knows right now it's run. The offensive tackle sets for pass, he knows it's pass. Secondary key, the weak side halfback or the 4-back. If he blocks, he knows it releases the weak side safety, therefore he has help to the inside and will play the 3-man stronger to the outside. The weak side safety keys the 4-man all the way. He has the same run or pass key with the weak side offensive tackle. But if he blocks, he immediately releases right to the middle to help anybody that comes into that zone. Of course, if he comes out, either flaring or deep, he picks him up man-to-man. In the zone pass coverage, The linebackers have predetermined positions to go to as soon as they recognize pass, rather than have the fullback determine that position as it was in a man-to-man. As soon as the strong side linebacker recognizes pass, he moves to his predetermined zone. But before that, he must chuck that in, and chuck him hard, never allowing him to release inside cleanly. On the recognition of pass, after chucking the end, he moves to his hook zone about 12 yards deep into this area. He gets no help in the circle area. He's responsible for that circle area from the fullback, and he's responsible for all passes in this area. On the snap of the ball, as soon as pass is recognized, the middle linebacker moves to his predetermined weak side hook zone and covers that area. The weak side linebacker moves to his predetermined weak side flat at about 45-degree angle, at least 12 yards deep, and he's responsible for that flat underneath. The 4 deep coverage in the zone, as the name signifies, all of the 4 deep men have areas in which to go to in which are predetermined. However, their original lineup is the same as it was in the man-to-man. For example, the halfback is 4 to 7 yards deep, and on the snap of the ball, he is responsible for the short, flat zone in this area. He will jostle this receiver as he comes down the field. He'll try to knock him off stride to spoil the rhythm of the pass. If the flanker were to go to the inside, he will yell to the linebacker to warn him of the flanker coming to the inside. On a snap of the ball, as soon as pass is recognized, the strong side safety will now move to cover deep behind the halfback and cover this zone, regardless of what happens. The weak side safety, as soon as pass is recognized, will move to the middle to cover this zone. He'll cover this 1/3, the middle 1/3 of the field. The weak side halfback, as soon as pass is recognized, will cover the deep outside zone, covering his 1/3. So it's 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 as far as these 3 deep men are concerned. This man covering the flat, responsible for anybody that comes out in that flat, that's in his zone. For example, a fullback flaring, hitches, anything like that. Or the YN moving out here to the flat. That's all into his zone. 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 for the deep passes. And the basic difference between the man-to-man coverage and the zone coverage, in the man-to-man, the defender glues to the receiver wherever he goes. He's on him, and he never looks at the ball until the receiver makes his final break. In the zone coverage, he moves to his zone and immediately picks up the quarterback and the ball and reacts to the ball. I'd like to discuss the combination defense. The combination defense is identified by 2 characteristics. One, it's a combination of zone and man-to-man coverage. And 2, it's a defense where 2 defensive men are assigned to cover 1 offensive receiver. The middle linebacker and the weak side linebacker play zone right now. I mean by that, they have no keys. They have the same rules as they had in the regular zone coverage. So on the snap of the ball, or as soon as pass is recognized, they move to their predetermined zones. The weak side, the middle linebacker to the weak side zone, weak side hook zone, and the weak side linebacker at a 45-degree angle underneath the halfback on the weak outside flat zone. The strong linebacker is man-to-man on the near back, in this case the fullback, and he takes him wherever he goes. If the fullback flares, he moves out, retreats at a 45-degree angle, but he still covers him man-to-man. If the ball is thrown to him, he must come up on him. If the fullback circles, he's on him man-to-man. If the fullback comes down the field all the way, he's on him man-to-man. The strong side halfback is man-to-man on the wingback, wherever he goes. Now, he also knows in the combination defense, that he has help to the inside from either the strong side safety or the weak side safety. Therefore, he can be real strong to the outside in covering the wingback. The weak side halfback is man-to-man on the X receiver, the split receiver. He also can be very strong on the outside. He's got them wherever he goes. He's man-to-man on them, but he knows he has help to the inside from either the weak safety or the strong safety. The two safeties are inside-outside on the tight end or the Y end. And I mean by that, if the Y end releases outside, he's man-to-man on the safety, releasing the weak side safety to cover a deep zone area to help the wingback who may break to the post, or to help on the X end who may break to the post. If the Y end releases inside, and I might say here that it is the responsibility of the strong side linebacker to prevent that Y end from releasing inside. Now, he can't always do that. For example, if the Y end splits way out, it's very difficult to prevent him. But he makes it as difficult as he possibly can for the Y end to release inside. But if the Y end releases inside, he is picked up by the weak side safety, man-to-man. This now releases the strong side safety to a middle position, in a position to help the post or to help the post here. The two safety men also have a secondary key, and that is the near back or the five back, the full back. If the near back blocks the weak side safety and there's an outside release by the Y end, the weak side safety immediately retreats for the middle zone. If the near back blocks and there's an inside release by the Y end, the strong side safety can release to the middle zone. If he were to come out to the outside, his retreat would have to be more of a straight back retreat. An additional point here in the combination defense, another phase of the combination defense, if this is the most dangerous receiver, let us say, we may want to combine on him rather than the Y end. On an inside release, he's picked up immediately by the strong side safety, which releases this safety man now to combine on with the strong halfback to combine on the wingback. One danger, he's all alone, and he must know that. He has no help to the inside now on the X end. I'm talking about this halfback. So he's man-to-man on him with no help to the inside. That's the danger, and of course, anytime you change a defense to become stronger against one man than it is against another, there's always a weakness that shows up. In this particular case, this is the weakness here. One of the most popular pass defenses in use today is the free safety type defense. That's where the weak side safety, upon a snap of the ball, without any regard to what the offensive backfield does, moves immediately to the center zone. And he covers that center one-third of the field, just as I have it shown here. Moves right into that. The linebackers, the strong side linebacker and the middle linebacker, key the fullback just as they do in the man-to-man coverage. The fullback fans, he moves to the outside flat zone, covering the fullback. The middle linebacker also keys the fullback, the five-man as we look at him, moving to the hook zone with that action, covering this area right here. If the fullback blocks, they move to the strong side. In other words, as long as the fullback stays on this side, this is the action, whether he flares or whatever he does. If he were to circle and come through here, of course, and then, of course, the middle linebacker would pick him up just as he does in a man-to-man. One of the differences here between this defense and the man-to-man defense is the weak side linebacker. The weak side linebacker is now on that halfback, man-to-man. He'll cover him wherever he goes. If this man blocks, he moves to the hook zone, but he's got to come in come up on him, got to take him if he leaks through or if he delays out. If he comes out here, he's got to take him man to man. He's covering him man to man all the way. He's on him. If he blocks, he moves into a hook zone. However, as I just mentioned, he does take him. Man to man on the one man for the corner man here. Man to man for this corner man on the three man. Man to man for the safety man on the YN. The big plus in this defense, really, is that the halfbacks, both cornermen, and the strong side safety, who are man-to-man on a 1, 2, and 3 men, they know, regardless of what happens, that they've got help to the inside from the weak side safety. They got help to the post. If this man were to break to the post, he knows that the weak side safety is going to help him. If this man were to come down and break to the post, he knows that the weak side safety is going to help him. Because of that, and the same thing, by the way, I might say for the strong side safety. He knows he's got help if the YM were to run a post pattern. Because of that, all of these men, corner men, and the safety men, now know that they can be a lot stronger in this coverage to the outside on the 1, 2, and 3 men. The offensive backs going weak does not affect the play or the movement of the defensive backs one iota. However, it does affect the play or the action of the linebackers. When a fullback goes weak, the strong side linebacker now covers this hook zone. The middle linebacker, with the fullback going weak, now covers the weak side zone. And the wander linebacker, the weak side linebacker, now covers the flat zone to his side. That's the only difference in that free safety coverage. No effect with the deep backs. The fullback does affect the movement of the linebackers. Well, it's the best pass defense of all, when you get right down to it, is the pass rush. And of course, the rush comes from first your defensive ends, who are first and primarily pass rushers. They're the two people that have got to put great pressure upon the passer. They're the ones that have got to get in there. They have more freedom. They got good moves. They've got to have the quick feet. They got to be strong in the shoulders, going to be strong in the arms so they can throw off the blockers. They get the penetration to the outside. And then, of course, the defensive tackles, who also must be pass rushers. Their primary job is to force the pocket deep in here and to allow the ends to get in there so the quarterback cannot step up. If they force the thing deep, if they force the pocket deep, that means the quarterback cannot step up and get away from the ends, who are usually rushing from the outside like this. That's pass defense. But remember that in the pyramid of pass protection, the interception is just the apex. The broad base on which that pyramid stands is four-sided, and the foundations of those four sides rest on: 1, the aggressive rush up front that gets to that quarterback to throw him for a loss and shake his confidence, and with it, his teams. Or at the very least, that forces him to hurry his throw and throw off balance. Two, the practiced patience and then acquired knowledge of the linebackers and defensive backs, who first must read and read correctly before they react. 3, the immediate and correct reaction to the keys. And 4, the proper playing of the receiver and at the apex of the ball. So once again, the success of the defense against the pass, as in every phase of football we have discussed in this series, begins with and depends upon the absolute determination of the individual. Each individual to perfect to the utmost his given talents.